1865, which is what finally and ultimately abolished the institution of slavery.
There is also a bit of fiction around that day in 1865 when Gordon Granger issued General Order Number 3 to free the enslaved black people of Galveston, Texas, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Well, we were raised to think that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, right? The problem is that the Emancipation Proclamation in and of itself didn't have the power to free anybody. It only applied to enslaved people in the Confederacy, and it can only be enforced if Union troops had captured territory in the South, in the Confederacy. Only about 500,000 enslaved men and women, we think, actually got their freedom from the Emancipation Proclamation. And James, there were 3.9 million enslaved African Americans, so the overwhelming majority of our ancestors were not freed by the Emancipation Proclamation.
So the significance then of General Gordon Granger going to Galveston?
We all think that the Civil War ended when Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox, which was April 9th, 1865. But that's not true. There were several different Confederate armies. So Texas finally surrenders to the Union on June 2nd. Gordon Granger comes, and on June 19th in Galveston, he issues the Emancipation Proclamation because now the Union Army is in possession of the territory. So that's the true story.
And what about the notion that enslaved black people in Texas did not know they were free?
One of the myths about Juneteenth is that nobody in Texas had heard about it. But there are two reasons that many historians think that black people knew about the Emancipation Proclamation too. One is because of the proverbial grapevine. So there was this miraculous way for enslaved people to communicate plantation to plantation and state to state. But the second factor is that because Texas was removed from the main action of the Civil War, many slaveholders moved to Texas for safety, and they took their enslaved people with them. Those enslaved people would have known about the Emancipation Proclamation by and large and would have told other enslaved people. But no one could enforce it because the Union did not capture territory then. The most radical thing that happened after the end of the Civil War for the rights of our enslaved ancestors were the ratification of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments and the Reconstruction Acts. This was the first concentration of black power. In the summer of 1867, 80% of all eligible black men who were formerly enslaved in the South registered to vote. And in 1868, they actually voted. Ulysses S. Grant won the presidency. So you could reasonably say that black men had elected a president of the United States.
Back in Galveston, Texas, the formerly enslaved began marking their freedom with the celebration 1 year later in 1866 and have been celebrating Juneteenth ever since. As far as Professor Gates is concerned, the details of Juneteenth are less important than the power of its message.
There's a kind of poetic magic in that story, a kind of comfort, a kind of retribution, a kind of belated administering of justice that appeals to all of us. Juneteenth is one of the first holidays that black people created on their own. And of the holidays that they created in slavery times, Juneteenth is the one that survived and is now a national holiday.
Isn't it important for all Americans to understand that Juneteenth ought to be embraced by all Americans?
For a country built upon the love of freedom, any manifestation of the enjoyment of freedom should be celebrated by all our countrymen. Let's hope for that day.
In Cambridge, Massachusetts, James Brown, CBS News.
Tonight, friends, let the music move you. Let the message inspire you. And let the celebration uplift you at this Juneteenth celebration of freedom and resilience, starring George Jerry Gilliam and his All-Stars. Happy Juneteenth.
Thank you very much for being here this evening. I really do appreciate it. You know, we're going to do this number I wrote a while back. It's called Playtime. It was just something I was thinking of at the time when my daughter was born. We had to have that special time, so I came up with this song, and this is part of what we used to do. Thank you very much. I was so nervous before I got here. I said, oh, how do we do this right? The next one we're going to do is called Mums. It's, chrysanthemums. That's what it really came out in the name of the flower, so Mums. So, because when the flower opens up, it's so beautiful. So, I thought this song would fit it perfect. Thank you.
Wow. Now that is the way to get this celebration started, isn't it? Let's meet this all-star band and its dynamic leader, because you might be surprised to discover that you've seen and heard some of these guys live, or maybe on a recording in your music collection. On guitar is a guy who has worked and recorded with jazz luminaries Barbara Morrison, Jeff Hamilton, along with R&B vocalists like Howard Hewitt, Freda Payne, and Johnny Gill. In 2023, he received the Living Legend Award in Los Angeles for more than 25 years of dedication in the field of jazz, composition, and musical performance. Say hello to guitarist Cliff Brown. Yeah. Next is an all-time instrumentalist, composer, producer, arranger that's been creating excitement in the jazz community because he's working on a new album of original music. He plays piano, he plays clarinet, he plays flute, and tonight he is sharing his voice on the tenor sax. Please welcome Carlo Alfonso.
From where?
Pounding out the beat is the former drummer and percussionist of the legendary Gap Band. He is currently playing and touring with smooth jazz musician Eric Darius. And he's going to be creating his own band called Ronnie Kaufman and Friends. So put your hands together for Ronnie Kaufman. Sorry about that, Ronnie. I tell you, that glare on that cerebellum kind of blinded me for a minute there. Our trumpeter was raised just up the freeway in Inglewood and covers all genres of music from classical to jazz to funk. He has had the honor of performing live with MC Hammer and Kelly Rowland, and can even tell you how to get to Carnegie Hall, because he's had the distinction of performing there twice with the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles. Give an OC welcome to Sun Ra. Our keyboardist was born and raised in the Mississippi Delta, and his approach and musical stylings reflect the deep blues and gospel roots of the Delta. Throughout his career, he has worked with so many artists, spanning multiple genres in the capacity of musician, session performer, producer. Say hello on keyboards to Trevor Jennings. On alto is a jazz saxophonist who's not only a performer, but also a music teacher, composer, and producer. Having received his master's in jazz studies at Cal State Long Beach, he has gone on to perform with companies like Converse, Discover LA, and has worked with R&B soul artist Kelly Rowland. Give it up for Joshua Childress. On percussionist is a 4-time Grammy winner who has shared the stage and the studio with iconic artists that all of you know, like Miles Davis, Stevie Wonder, Sting, Kenny Loggins, Herbie Hancock, Marcus Miller, The Temptations, the Four Tops, and the Sweet Supremes. With more than 45 years in the music business, he has pretty much seen and done it all. Please show your love for Munyungo Jackson. In the flesh. On bass is our music director and an extremely versatile composer, conductor, and arranger. He served as music director for Shaka Khan, Stevie Wonder, and Herbie Hancock. His original compositions have appeared in TV shows, video games, feature films, and has performed all over the world with national orchestras. And he is a professor of music and computer music technology at Compton College, right up the street. Please give it up for the man that everybody wants and we get to have tonight, Harvey Estrada. Yeah. Hey, and he's straight out of Compton, if you didn't know. We went to high school together. And leading this amazing band is a man known for his ability to go from a moving ballad to a sweet, swinging bebop tune, captivating you on his guitar, and who has been leading bands since he was a teenager in Gary, Indiana. He was the guitarist with the George Rutherford Jazz Orchestra, where he met the love of his life, ELENA, who you'll meet a little bit later. George, you get applause for that? Well, you know, I kind of like Diana Ross. You know, one time she asked me out. I was hiding in her hotel room at the time. Kind of the same thing, right? He has a bold new collection of soulful and electrifying songs he created. This is his debut smooth jazz album, blending smooth jazz, R&B with contemporary blues, reaffirming his place as one of jazz's most innovative and exciting voices. And if you're really nice to him, maybe he'll continue to tell you a little bit about the background of the songs that he has created. Campus JAX, put your hands together for the leader of the band and the living legend of jazz recipient, George, nicknamed Jerry Gilliam. The man. And your featured vocalist is the preeminent voice of the exploding Orange County jazz scene. ELENA Gilliam began her jazz career with the big band sound, recording with the George Rutherford Traveling Orchestra, Charles Rutherford Jazz Orchestra. You know, she's often compared to Ella Fitzgerald, Sassy Vaughan, things like that, but she has her own voice that is hers alone. In 2016, she was honored receiving the Living Legend of Jazz Award and was inducted into the Jazz Blues Hall of Fame. Please welcome the lady with the story and the song that stirs your spirit and calms your soul, Miss ELENA Gilliam. And don't you love this dress?
Hello, everyone. Oh, thank you for being here. This is so exciting for my husband, George. It's his CD release. And, what day is it? Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. That's freedom for all of us. For all of us. Let's stand up and shout. Thank you. Should I do a little church dance there? All right, no, later. Haven't had enough wine yet. So thank you, and it's such a pleasure to be here at Campus JAX, my favorite spot in Orange County. So I guess I'll sing a song. Because he just gave me that look. This is in honor of Juneteenth. Listen to that. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun up in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, that's how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. fish in the sea. You know how I feel. River running free. You know how I feel. Blossom on the tree. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Yes, I'm feeling good. Butterflies out in the sun. You know what I mean. Dragonflies out having fun. You know what I mean. Oh, sleep in peace till day is done. That's what I mean. And this old world is a bold world and a new world for me. And I'm feeling you know what I mean. Butterflies out having fun, you know what I mean. Freedom is mine, that's what I mean. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, and a new day, and a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Woo! Thank you. Wow, thank you. Just like we didn't practice it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, so as George said, as Les said, I hope that George talks a little bit about the songs that he wrote all along. This has been, what, 25 years in the making here? 30, really? 30 years in the making, writing songs, and then we found a wonderful producer who we'll talk about later. His name is Alex Bailey, and Alex got a hold of the songs, and wow, put a new spin, brought them to life, So here's one that we used to do. I reminded George, we did this on our first gig together. You forgot, didn't you? 40 years ago. Must have been 40 years. We have
But
aged
the song
so
was
well,
really,
don't you think?
we've done very well. But the reason for the song, let's don't forget, is the reason was like when I was in college, this was the one thing that got me through.
Yeah.
And it helped me to, through some different difficulties, helped me to raise myself up and keep moving forward. So this song is real personal, and I really appreciate the fact that it was done a while back by Sea Winds and Horns. Pauline DaCosta was the singer. But it's an inspiration no matter who does it. And I'm telling you, I have to give it to my wife. She does such a wonderful job. And she's such a And she has been such an inspiration that has kept me going for so long. So really, just let you know, you can't do it sometimes without somebody behind you helping you. So I have to admit, you know, she's been there, and it's been a while. So I hope you enjoy this song. It's called Follow Your Road.
I love this song. If you know the words to it, if you're as old as we are, go ahead, sing along. Sing along if you want.
So many roads that seem to lead down to the sea, I wonder which road's gonna be the right one for me. Others may fall away, dead ending left and right, but there's this one road that journeys far out of sight. Have you wondered where your road will lead you? Maybe to a bright day of sunshine, or a starry night in heaven. It might be you're afraid to go, but you gotta follow your flow, or you'll never know. We are all but travelers living in this foreign land. We're trying to find our way, ooh, the best that we can. Looking for the answer, trying to find some love. Though we have journeyed far, it's not quite far enough. No, 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 no. Have you wondered where your road will lead you? Maybe to a song that needs singing, or a summer rain. Well, it might be you're afraid to go, but you gotta follow your road, or you'll never know. Follow your road, follow your road, follow your road. You gotta follow your road, follow your road, follow your road. You gotta follow your road, oh, follow your road. And maybe one day your road will lead you gotta follow your road, follow your road. Yeah, you gotta follow your road, follow your road, follow your road. You gotta follow your road, follow your road. Maybe one day your road will lead you far away, far away. You got to follow your road, 'cause maybe tomorrow you just keep following your road, follow your road. And maybe one day your road will lead you far away. And maybe one day your road will lead you far away. Far away. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be back later.
I wrote this song for a friend of mine whose wife was going through cancer at the time, and she was doing chemo. So I said, "Well, Betty, I'm gonna write a song for you, so when you're sitting in chemo, you'll have something to listen to." Now I understand this was when I was living in Chicago, and Harold was my friendly barber. We called him Harold the Friendly Barber, and his wife. And he used to come to all of my gigs when I was younger, and they were always, like supportive. And you only have a few friends in your life that sometimes they come through like that. No matter who you are and how old you are, they're there to support you no matter how good. I was awful there. I was awful. I was struggling. I was trying to find my way. But they would come and she'd be out there, Jerry, Jerry. So this song is for her. Oh, this is a song. This is a song for resilience, and the title of it is called "Be Strong." Okay, we turn this one on for you. You on yet?
They're good, they're good.
It's okay. She's going to read a poem for us. My daughter, Alicia.
There we go. I got it, Daddy. This works. Hello. I guess my parents couldn't have all the fun. And clearly, I am his daughter because we look alike. So if y'all forgot, surprise, you just look at us. We pretty much the same. But yes, I am reading a little poem because they can't have all the fun tonight. Sorry, Daddy, I gotta have the poem in front of me. Thank you so much. This is called Free at Last by Sojourner Kincaid Royale. The General Granger brought the news to Galveston. The war is over. The President Lincoln signed a decree. The Emancipation Proclamation declares all who lives in bondage here shall from now until be free. After 300 years of forced labor, hands bound, descendants of Africa picked up their souls, all that they owned, leaving shackles where they fell on the ground, headed for the nearest resting place to be found. Some went no further than the shack out back, oft alone, only a lean to shed. Hard ground for bed, hard labor, no pay, but the will to survive. Some went no further, and of course they found that they still declared that this is my home. Some went to the nearest place of the Lord, to some hollow place in the brush, or to a clearing in a grove, where folks gathered neath to still standing tree and sang, "Thank you, Jesus, for delivering me." Some, thank you, amen. Some ran as far as they could go into the service of the man on the neighboring land working for a pittance in a little plot of space, much like they did as a slave. Some made a beeline for the nearest saloon, singing a song, picked up a tune, toasting the Union and Lady Luck, setting the flow, dancing the jig and the buck, patting themselves on their whipped, scarred backs, caressing from night into day. Some went to the way of the river, following the Rio Grande, or swimming up the upflowing Mississippi, hastening to get as far as they could, thrusting their futures into sanctuary and friendless unknown territory. Some kept running like a stone on a hill, never to grasp a firm place to rest. Some even went to the promised land, wherever they went alone or abreast. At the end of their journey, they cried, "I've done my best." Every year in the Lone Star State and in towns from sea to sea, sons and daughters of the ones who were held to celebrate the time when their forebears got the news the war was over. All men were free. They will always remember. They will never forget Juneteenth, when their forebears could shout, "Free at last! Hallelujah. I'm free." Thank you. You can have the stage back, Daddy.
I understand. All right. So this next song is called Freedom Call.
Are we on? Wow. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. You too. Oh, you're so funny. This is our little song. You know how some guys make your dreams come true? In my case, it's really true. This guy here has made so many of my dreams come true. And I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Right, Georgie? Yeah. Someday, my prince will come. Someday, I'll find my love, and how thrilling that moment will be when the prince of my dreams comes to me. He'll whisper, I love you, and steal a kiss or two. Though he's far away, I'll find my love someday, someday when my dreams come true. All my dreams come true, 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 true. Yes, come true. Come on, Harvey. Someday, find my love, someone to call my own, and how thrilling that moment
of my dreams comes to me, he'll whisper, I love you, and steal a kiss or two. Though he's far away, I'll find my love someday, someday when my dreams come true, come true. Right here. Thank you so much.
We're going to close this out with The Village. This is a
Thank you
song
so much.
entitled Bringing Everybody Together.
But I want to say something before we close this out. Oh, thank you. Hey, I forgot we had a tip jar up here. T-I-P, tip, tip, tip. Tip jar, if you're so inclined. You know, we got to pay them
It'll be up here
somehow.
on your way out, so
We
you
gotta
know
pay
if
them
you didn't
somehow.
finish that drink or whatever, you can drop it
Yeah.
off on your bucket and just
But-
pass the plate. Don't worry about a thing. We don't take
But
anything personal.
here's what's important. Let me talk to her. So, first he doesn't want to talk, now he won't shut up. Now, we forgot to tell you about the CD itself. The CD won't be available for a few weeks. However, if you'd like to pre-order tonight, guess what we have? We have a SKU, which is up on your monitors, and you can pre-order the CD, $20. Yes, it's all in the name of love. And if you do pre-order tonight, I made up a little goodie bag for you, and my daughter Alicia's sitting over here, and she's got them at the table. So if you do pre-order one, just let her know, and it's just a little goodie bag of chocolate. It's just something you need for the ride home. So thank you again, and we love you guys. We love Campus JAX. We love Jack Jasper, owner, and Tim Ellis, owner over in the corner. He's working hard over there for us. George is lucky enough to be on the MetaJax label. Yay, MetaJax. Yes. And I love Campus JAX. We all love Campus JAX. And in honor of the village, this is the village. This is the jam. Here we go.
the George Gilliam All-Stars! Yes,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
the George Gilliam All-Stars!
Thank you. Made it.
Remember, on drums, you just heard Ronnie Kaufman. On guitar, Cliff Brown. Tenor, Carlo Alfonso. Alto, Joshua Childers. On trumpet is Shun Ra. On keyboards here is